Hello, my name is Emily Nutter.
I'm Hollie Addison, and this is our electronics project, which we are doing a digital thermometer circuit. So we decided to do a digital thermometer because we are both biomedical engineers, so we thought this would be a project that is relevant to our field and something that we could talk about in the future as a project we worked on as biomedical engineers.
This is going to be a rough draft of our circuit layout. We're going to be using a modeling kit that we found off of Amazon, but we obviously are going to tweak it and add our own modifications. We have a 7-segment display up here. We obviously have our capacitors, our resistors, our 2 chips, but how we want to modify this is to add a speaker to alarm when someone has a fever. So we're gonna have to add an op amp and other components to modify this. We're also not going to be using this layout breadboard just because we don't really have room for our extra modifications. So we are going to also try and rearrange everything.
So for our 3 main elements that we're using, the main chips used in the kit that they provide us is a TM1637 and an 8G1K17 chip. So the first chip that I said converts the reading, the input, into numbers that can be displayed. And the input is from the 8G chip, which is a microcontroller, and it controls the inputs and outputs, and then it transfers the data to the 1637, like I said. So then we're going to be using the LED. So it's a 4-bit red display LED, kind of like our 7-segment displays that we've used in class. So this is what's going to accept the output from the 1637 and create numbers, and it displays it to the user and shows what temperature is being read. And then there's also DHT11 temperature and humidity sensor. So this sensor reads both temperature and humidity, which the name kind of states. So it also has these blue LEDs attached, which indicate when they're reading and what they're reading. So one LED is for temperature and another one is for humidity.
Now for our presentation, we're not exactly going to know how we're going to do everything until it's in front of us, but we're obviously going to follow the rules of red goes with power, our black wires are going to go to ground, and we're going to keep everything neat. We're going to try and keep our wires short and not mix-matched everywhere. We're going to sort our wires by color. We also plan to organize our components together on the circuit board. So like I mentioned with our speaker, we're going to keep our 741 near our speaker, and that whole area is going to be together to help the viewer understand what's all going on. We also are going to try and keep this compact. We don't want a large, overwhelming circuit to deter anyone away. So yeah, but obviously we don't fully know everything until we have everything in front of us. Okay, so some of the problems and challenges that we are anticipating are unfamiliar components. As mentioned earlier in these slides, we are using 2 chips that we have never used before in lab and have never heard of, to be honest. So we are still learning how they work, any limits that they might have, and we're going to learn as we use them. Another constraint that we are anticipating is time. A lot of the chips that we wanted to use are either discontinued or took way too long to ship. So we are just adapting as we go, and we're going to try and adapt quickly because there is a time constraint. And then the last problem that we are anticipating is a lack of guidance with additional components. So this kind of piggybacks off of the unfamiliar components. We do not have reliable circuit diagrams to rely on. Thank you for listening.